The first way I like to start working the heavy bag is using my feet. I don't like to punch first. A lot of new people like to start throwing punches and they'll let the bag crowd their space like this. And then they start having little muffled short punches instead of controlling the distance with your feet here and then manipulating the distance with your hands here. You have two sensories, your feet first, then your hands. Understand when you use your feet first, you're able to control distance a lot better compared to just having bricks as feet. Because now I can pick angles and decide how and when I want to punch. And I also manipulate my angles by framing and allowing my hands to be in position without hitting the opponent, but touching and moving around the opponent's space. Because now I'm choosing the timing, the pacing, the distance. I'm using ring gentlemanship because how I'm using my time, how I'm using my space, how I'm using these angles. If you're not doing this while you're on the bag, then you're definitely not going to do it while practicing on the mitts, while practicing by yourself shadow boxing, and especially during sparring. So it's like, oh, how do I get good? You have to practice a lot. You have to be obsessive of this stuff. You can't just think that you're going to get it just because you did it a couple times. This has to be second nature. I guarantee you, if you don't have this second nature, you're always going to have to think about your defense. You're always going to think about, how do I understand how to maintain distance? You're going to be starting asking these simple questions rather than doing the simple things. The only reason why the basics are boring is because you make them boring. You don't make them fun. You're not being creative. You're not being an artist. Boxing is a martial skill. It's not anything that you're supposed to just, oh, I'm just gonna do as a sport. No, this is a hurt sport. People are trying to hurt you. You gotta be able to protect yourself as long and as best as possible. Your brain, you only can have one of them. So understand this. If you don't understand how to move your feet, manipulate distance, understand control time and space, understand defense fundamentals and techniques, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. People don't use enough jabs. People don't use enough effective jabs, actually. Effective jabs, because the only thing that makes an effective feint is having an effective punch. And it doesn't have to be a lot of volume. It doesn't have to be hard or fast. It has to just be on time. If it's not on time, you're gonna be trying to rush a jab. And if you know the definition of rushing, it means you're behind. That means you're trying to catch up. And if you're trying to have ring gentlemanship, you have to allow the other person to catch up to you. You have to pick the pace. Don't allow them to pick the pace. The only reason why they're gonna be able to pick the pace is because you're not able to control your distance, time, and space. And even though that they could be a brute, but you have to understand what you're good at, and then understand what you're not good at, and focus on how can I get them into my most dangerous position. If it's fighting on the outside, then keep them on the outside. Think of 5 different ways you could keep somebody on the outside, and then branch off from each of those routes and figure it out. But if you're not trying to figure out what type of style you are and what type of style that you have the most issues with, then it's always going to continuously be hard for you to be able to do what you're supposed to do. Your adaptability is going to be weak. Hey, what's up, baby?
Hey, sweetie.
It's fine.
All right, baby.
All right. What? So there's people think that they have to know everything in the beginning, and that's where they discourage themselves. That's why I say athletes are the biggest ones to quit in my point of view, because they're so used to playing and being good at sports like basketball, baseball, football, soccer. You can't do that in boxing. You're going to fail a bunch. You're going to eat a lot of crow. you're gonna face defeat and it's not gonna feel good. And then now they're gonna be like, dang, what's wrong with me? That's the thing. They think that something's wrong with them, and it's, no, you're in a different realm.
They're gonna, oh, this is not my style. You know how many times I heard that shit?
Yeah.
Bro, you're doing basic. All you're doing is jabbing and you don't have a style.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have a style.
Like you just
right now you're just doing the basics anyway.
Let me ask you a question. Does the straight punches hurt your shoulders more than like hooks?
All of them suck.
Aside from boxing, man, what are your other interests like in life, you know? Do you have any other hobbies?
It's my hobby is also my work at the same time. So the same way with boxing, it's like the same way with making content, streaming, gaming, anime. All that is my hobby that became business. And I think that's the best way to have business, is to make your hobbies your business. So then you're making income off of already what you love to do. So therefore it creates that sense of, oh, I don't feel like I'm working at work, because what I do for work is my fun at the same time. So I'm creating my environment to be fun based off of my hobbies. I was like, I've worked 27 jobs, but I've worked 27 jobs.
Probably worked like 90 jobs. Come on.
But within that being said, it's just like I'd much rather be in a space where I'm the person that hires and fires. So I make it, a lifelong goal to be able to create that space for myself to be able to work without making it feel like work all the time. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not challenges, but it's the challenges I would rather face.
Now, as far as like being a little business work, how do you balance that, like, with your, I guess, like, work-life balance?
Well, there's no balance when it comes to work-life balance. There's no such thing. Realistically, there isn't. The only people that say work-life balance are the people that have employee mindset. Because what you want to have happen isn't going to happen off of just mere effort and willpower. You need more than that. So the same way a plane needs to take off, it has however many passengers with however many luggage, bags, and all that type of stuff. And however much the plane weighs after all that stuff is on, it's like it needs a lot of effort to get up in the sky and climb. It's gonna climb. It don't take just 30 seconds to climb. It takes a lot of fuel, a lot of energy.
Yeah, once it's there, it's not burning itself.
Yeah, and then once you're above the clouds, you coasting. So if people think like it's just, oh, I've tried already. No, you didn't. And even if you did, you probably didn't try enough. It was probably enough for you, but more than that.
Unless you're a mechanic and you want to do something with private, you know how to do it. Goddamn. Goddamn. 1, 1, 2. Up. 2. Up. 2. 3. Up. 2.
I'm like 203.
Bro, 250.
I'm 203 right now. Yeah, I know. So I dropped from 255, but like I said, I was fighting competitive 178. 178. My resting weight, like if I knew I didn't have no fights like all month, I'd be like 180. No, 183. I was always about 5 pounds.
You was disciplined.
Yeah, no, cause I didn't like being hungry. That sucked. But that's how you could be more protected. People think that, oh, they could just cut 15, 20 pounds. Your brain is the last thing that gets hydrated.
Exactly.
And it takes more than 24 hours to get it fully hydrated.
So I usually hold one up
Yeah.
here, then here, and I make them.
Right, that's what you.
And shoot over the eyebrow.
Okay.
That's my fault. 1, 2.
Cause what I'm used to is jabs being here, cross being here, hook. But no, do it the way you're doing it. I'm saying where my disconnect was.
When we're doing more like the structure, I do it this way. When we're doing like sitting down on it, bam, bam, bam. All right. So 1, 2.
I'm gonna go slower.
All right. Just like that. 1, 2. In and out. 1, 2. All right. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right there. Jab, jab. 2. Here we go. Jab, jab. 2.
I was trying to rush it.
Jab, jab. Right there. 1, 2, 1. And you know,
Yeah.
bouncing a little bit and your feet, not crazy, but just 1, 2, 1. Boom, right there. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Jab, jab. Jab, jab. 1, 2, 1. Go. 1, 2, 3. Strong. All right, that's when you sit down. 1, 2. Strong. 1, 2, 3. Upper 3 roll.
Which way? Wait, if I'm bam. Hold on, hold this way.
Jab, jab. Here we go. 1, 2.
So
Now 1, hook it on the 2.
bam, bam.
Here you go.
Okay.
Here you go. Here you go right there. Up on that side.
Same hand.
This hand.
So bam, bam, bam.
Here you go.
So let me know the pace. So bam, bam, like right after. Okay. Bam, 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 bam. All right.